Now, as somebody who communicates through various personalities, I can say that my different personalities have a different vibe. It's not always about communication, not always about words, but it's more about energy most of the time. And it's more about focus as well. As far as the facial behaviors and the body language behaviors that my various personalities display. But it definitely comes into reality in a verbal message or a verbal attunement when I start using the voice of Arcalite. So, when it comes to my two Valkyries, they don't really talk in engagements in my head. So, the one that's labeled Fury will just feel like this. And the one that's labeled Vengeance, and I say labeled because there's not really good title or name for these entities, but the one that's labeled Vengeance is more like this. So we have an understanding of communication of essence, if anybody picked up on that. So what does Arcalite say? My guardian angel, the counselor of my inner sanctum. What would he say to something like this, for instance? He's always saying things. You know, this is not completely fruitful, but it is not completely inert in the activity that you're doing. You're still acting, even if you're doing so in a way that really doesn't make any sense ultimately. You're still acting. I'd like to leave the physical descriptions of how I view these beings within myself to the interpreter. I'm not going to give you any physical description so that you're not misconceived in any way as to the nature of these beings, because we all have those suppositions about how different beings look and, you know, what that is to us. I mean, that's a subconscious nature to human beings. But there are other personalities within myself. You know, of course, the Fury, Vengeance, and Arcalite are three of the main emotional and spiritual and reality-oriented that I have as my membrane between what I am and what is without me. There is that membrane of these three characters that separates me from that which I experience. And is a personality disorder a disorder if you are in control of it? Because somebody with a personality disorder usually are not in control of when these personalities flare, or when they have complete cohesion, or they come together to produce a single being. Usually it's that you can't control your various parts. But I think in some people, it may not even be seen as different personalities, just different parts of the same whole. And I think that that's what I appear as being. I could be wrong, but I definitely think that it's less visible in me as it is with other people. Having multiple personalities it's almost impossible to explain. It's like trying to explain what an orange tastes like to somebody who's never tasted citrus, or what a campfire, particular warmth, the energy, and the smell of it, and, you know, what locks your eyes onto it. Trying to explain that whole experience of a campfire to someone who has never even come close to seeing a burning stick or even a match. It's very hard to describe. But having multiple personalities, I will say, is a double-edged sword. You're able to understand the differences between the different parts of yourself. A lot of people with the disorder are also likely to see those different parts of themselves as complete different units. And for a lot of people that have multiple personality disorder, it's hard to differentiate between the grander whole and an individual personality acting of its own accord. This is a common thing, and unfortunately, when you have different personalities, you will look at something through very different angles. So why is it unfortunate that we see certain things at different angles? It's because when you have multiple personalities, the angles don't line up. They're never from one perspective, whether it be emotionally, spiritually, or even materially. It's always from a different combination of these three things making up in a direction from which there's the intent of viewing the life through. So it's difficult, and there's not a whole lot of us. But I hope that this video has kind of helped you a little bit understand the nature of having multiple personalities. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you agree, disagree, put it down in the comment section below on YouTube or wherever this is displayed. And feel free to contact me at www.facebook.com/Hunter_Salazar, HUNTER_SALAZAR. You can contact me, we can talk about this. As long as you're polite, I'll respond to you. But regardless, thank you very much for watching. It's a pleasure to share my experience so that maybe others will be more likely to share theirs. And all of you, have a wonderful day.